Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I am your host, Fearless Floyd. And yesterday, I was watching a few videos over on Rumble with Sabrina Wallace. Always a pleasure listening to her. And I'm not going to beat around the bush with you because it's very difficult to describe reality in a vernacular where you comprehend the technical terms and you can assimilate those into layman's terms so everyday people like myself who've never studied electrical engineering understand exactly what is going on. Sabrina Wallace, God bless her. She's, I've said it before, I'll say it again. She's a blessing to this country. Absolutely. What she's doing, she deserves congressional and presidential accolades for sure. But when you listen to this next video, I want you to think of this as well, because, you see the whole Q-Tard University Trust the Plan. Well, this video is not just about the Q movement. She addresses it. The video is based on the premise that, this is who's really controlling Q and this is what it is. That's fine and dandy. But I want you to look at it on a deeper level, a spiritual level. What she is describing is the Antichrist. And I want you to look at it like that. Aside from all the bullshit, the QAnon stuff and all the fantasy realities of the hopium. I just talked to a buddy of mine, and I'm going to give you a great analogy of what this bullshit, this stupid narrative that's going around, especially when it comes to the RV. Because I spoke to a lady Friday. And apparently she said she had contacted the military and that the military was just waiting on us to step up. Well, unbeknownst to everybody involved, this dingbat woman, when it came time for the big call, everybody was on the call. And you know what she said? This is what this woman said. The Chinese elders have $350 trillion they want to invest in the United States of America. Bullshit. What? You brought that garbage to the call. Really? Let me explain something to you folks. When you hear Chinese elders, fucking run. Turn it off. Change the channel. There are no Chinese elders coming over here to save the United States of America. Have you actually investigated what's going on in China? If I remember correctly, the Chinese are a very proud people. I don't understand why their elders would be over here trying to save the United States when their own country's in shambles. I want you to think on that. Think about what these people are telling you. How voracious the lies and transgressions they do upon you spiritually, emotionally, mentally, to lead you on these bullshit narratives. And when you hear Sabrina talk, listen, folks, there are no white hats. Get the fuck off that. Your political machinery is not going to come fucking save you. So get off that too. And if you think all these assholes over here giving you intel are full of fucking shit, they're paid operatives. Listen to Sabrina. She'll tell you. She'll tell you exactly what the fuck they're doing. Now, I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate comments because I'm picking on the Q community, but it is what it is. I've called you out before. I've called you all Q-tards before. Everybody who listens to Phil Godlewski, you're a fucking Q-tard. If you associate with anybody that associates with Phil Godlewski, you're a Q-tard. You deserve everything that's going to happen to you because you've been warned repeatedly by many, many, many people. Okay? So let's go dive into the truth of what really is existing today, right now. Your government's doing to you, your military's doing to you, your intelligence community is doing to you. Oh, yeah, you're fixing to see it. She's going to lay it all out for you. She's going to show it to you. Frame by frame by frame, illustration by illustration, voice by voice. And thank God we have somebody that actually wants to investigate that. So you're going to find out. And I'm telling everybody, when it comes, it's going to come so fast, so quick, nobody's even going to realize it happened, except the ones that know it's coming and can identify it. Believe me when I tell you this, folks. I'm searching for the truth. I don't care what it looks like. You know, sometimes it's a bad effect on me, but yet I still have to accept it as the truth. I can't change it. It is what it is. Now you're going to hear from Sabrina Wallace, and she's going to tell you all about this. I listened to this video yesterday. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was busy working on my stuff. But as I listened to it, I was like, oh, my God, this is nuts. I knew about all this, but, you know, the more I listen to her and the deeper she goes with this stuff and the more material she accumulates, and this is, you know, generals, admirals talking, intelligence community people, you know, these outside entities who want to, you know, do all the government's work for them. All of that. So let's dive in. Let's check out Sabrina Wallace. And the title of her video is The Q is DOEAI / healthcare 4.0. If you don't comprehend what that means, Department of Energy. If you'd like to go watch her, she's non-vaxxer 420 over on Rumble. She's going to tell you a little bit about the super soldiers as well. So go check her out. She's talking about HAR, Human Activity Recognition Radar, uses radio waves to detect and classify human movements and actions in non-contact, privacy-preserving manner, offering advantages over video or wearable sensors in applications like fall detection for elderly care, gesture recognition for human and machine interfaces, and smart home security. By analyzing microdoppler signatures and other radar data, these systems can distinguish activities such as walking, sitting, or falling, leveraging technologies like millimeter wave radar and integrating machine learning and deep learning for accurate real-time recognition. See, basically they're using radar to map what you do in real time in a digital universe, utilizing your digital DNA, creating a digital twin. Did I explain all that correctly for you? Because Sabrina's going to get into the mumbo jumbo that looks like. Okay, so let me get you the proper screen. And we're ready to rock and roll, folks.
You know, they're evil, but guns protect the Pope. Trump to mandate voter ID for federal elections, a new EO. Federal judge blocks Trump admin's effort to expand expedited deportations. Israeli officials are claiming Trump wants to turn Gaza into an AI smart city. Well, Jared Kushner wants that. And speaking of that, remember like 4 or 5 months ago, Trump posted on Truth Social, Gaza is this weird AI city with a big golden statue of him. Now, a fan made that. Trump didn't make that. And listeners called in saying, you know, why are you covering this? I didn't know about the listeners called in, but it was bizarre. Trump writes his own tweets, but the Truth Social stuff, a lot of the memes, he doesn't. So when I saw this today, we'll put it on screen, the HD of it, please. The world will soon understand nothing can stop what is coming. And in his hand is Q+. Q+ is in the Q lore, starts in 2017. That's the Q leader, or Trump. So did Trump post this? I don't know. Is Trump saying he's Q? I mean, does Trump say they're going to build a golden statue of him in Gaza and create an AI smart city? No. They just post a lot of funny stuff that's fan-made.
He's softening the blow here. This is something that orators do. All of you who still are confused and believe in your Q, please listen. Again, he did this at the end of the show on Sunday night. He has talked about it before. I have talked about it on this channel incessantly because the Q movement did a ton of damage to the American, whether you're patriotic or not. The Q movement is a controlled Department of Energy, artificial intelligence, data mining operation that they called off because too many people were screwing around. That is what I said. That is what I showed. That is what people on Booma's channel showed with evidence. But you know how it is. Once people have been given a good story, they don't like to let it go. They don't want to confront reality. They want the story. And that bit them in the ass. Because once the lie got going, other grifter people, some, I would guess, knew damn well that it was BS, and others that thought whatever they thought didn't know any better. But it's embarrassing, okay? It's really, really embarrassing to have so many adults walking around believing in the tooth fairy. The Q clearance for our Department of Energy has its own artificial intelligence. It's not new. They've had it for decades. They used it to see how people would react, to take data, bioinformatics, analytics. Please listen.
Trump didn't make this. It was made by Spiritual Street Fighter. But clearly they knew what that was going to mean and do, and that's just, I guess, feeding into the Q base. Q was created because when the WikiLeaks came out and people like myself and others posted it, and Drudge posted it, we got like 90 million reads just on one INFORCE article about the spirit cooking and John Podesta, that they legally came after everybody even though it was real. And so there was a discussion, I wasn't in on it at that time, about how do we anonymously put all this stuff out and then not get, attacked for it. And so as soon as Trump got inaugurated, they're like, hey, we're setting this thing up. We're going to do these little Q drops and shots at the White House on Air Force One to add credibility. And I'm like, who's behind it? Well, this person had the idea and we're doing it. And blah, blah, blah. Was the big guy know? Well, we've been turned loose, whatever. And then later they come down like, hey, we want you to get involved. And I said, listen, my issue is just like anonymous. You can have somebody that's good putting on a Guy Fawkes mask saying things we're anonymous, but the general public thinks it's like a real thing, one big conglomerate. I said, how are you going to stop stuff and disinfo and then manipulating people thinking they're actually, part of this thing? It's very esoteric. It's very Gnostic. I said, I think it's going to go sideways, but I'll support the stuff you guys push that I think isn't bad. And then later, like, oh, you're right. 6 months later, they got taken away and too much disinfo, and yeah, we're not doing that anymore. Please don't tell anybody about it. So that's what happened. Yeah, I mean, is Trump really the Pope? He posted that. Okay, no, he's not. Has Trump got a golden statue of himself in Gaza? No, he doesn't. So that's my issue with this. And it created so much exuberance in 2020 that Trump was invincible and trust the plan, and Hillary's been executed at Gitmo, and there's thousands held there, that people didn't go out and vote because they thought we were invincible. And Roger quietly bemoaned the Q thing, saying Trump's probably going to lose because the landslide won't be big enough because of this Q-type crap. So, and Roger Stone's his top political advisor. He's the real deal. Okay? So that's where this is. That's reality. That's not crazy town. That's the real world. Now, I got a few other things I'm going to hit. I was going to get to this 8th Amendment John Bowne report, but we'll post that on X tonight. I'll play it tomorrow on the weekday show. Make sure Harrison airs it 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, doing a great job.
Here's what I would like you to search if you are still confused. Department of Energy, QAI. Department of Energy, AI. Artificial Intelligence for Energy. What is the Q clearance? It's a Department of Energy security clearance required to access top secret restricted data, formerly restricted data, and national security information. Additionally, you got your Department of Labor and Post Office and all sorts of different departments using AI. The New York Times, May 29th, 2025. The New York Times, Q people. The new supercomputer showing the increasing desire of government labs like Battelle. National Laboratory Management and Operations in Columbus, Ohio. Okay. They are one of the labs like Oak Ridge. What do they run? Brookhaven, Los Alamos, Pacific Northwest. Okay. And what does the company do? They provide a wide range of services, applied research, scientific discovery, STEM, technology development, and national laboratory management for government agencies and commercial clients. Then here on the channel, multiple times, we have explained Battelle. In 2019, Battelle has bidirectional brain-computer interface. Bidirectional means read, write to the brain. Okay? You can read your neurons, decode them, and their little electrical signals that they use in your brain tissue, and write in a different encoding. See that word right there? ENCODE. The bioelectricity that your body uses with everything your nervous system is up to, along with your endocrine system. That's molecules. The Department of Energy specializes in your omics. That omics, right over here. Metagenome, combined assemblies, metatranscriptome, your omics databases refer to the large sets of biological molecules, DNA, RNA, proteins, metabolites, to understand how they function together as a system. That's your genetics. That's everything you are made of. Cellularly, your cells use electricity, chemicals, and kinetics to communicate. Genomics, epigenomics, transcriptomics, your proteins, proteomics. This is the bread and butter of synthetic biology, bioengineering, and your precision AI healthcare 4.0. It's not new. They've been working on this stuff since the 80s. Nanotheranostics. What is precision AI healthcare? The application of artificial intelligence to the field of precision medicine, which tailors medical treatments to the individual characteristics of each patient's omics. That's your genetics. RNA, transcriptomics, DNA, genomics, proteins, proteomics, phenotypes, phenomics, okay? That's your Department of Energy. Your Department of Energy is watching everything at the molecular level. Otherwise, over here, this year, wearable device tracks individual cells in the bloodstream in real time at MIT. It's a wearable, watching every cell go through your veins and arteries. This is called molecular communication. It's not new. It's been running since 2014. Internationally, everybody knows about it. It's a job. Okay? So, with the technology which achieves single cell resolution, could help in continuous, non-invasive patient assessment. That is called remote patient monitoring. Okay? So now your new precision AI healthcare is the very definition of eugenics. Because in eugenics, they are focused on your genetics for breeding as well as calibration of how long you live. They've taken all that data into precision medicine. Okay? So they're using omics, genomics, all the other types of omics that you have with your transcriptome, with your RNA, your proteome with the proteins. Period. Full stop. That's what they're using with their own data sets that are shared worldwide with things like the Brain Initiative, things like the Brain Connectome, which is a wiring diagram of your brain. Connectome, comprehensive map of neural connections in the brain, and may be thought of as a wiring diagram. People purchase brain-computer interface on the internet all the time. It's been there for 10 years on the YouTube. Elsevier, Neurological Journals, the first study of human-to-human, brain-to-brain interface. The first bidirectional brain-to-brain interface 10 years ago. So the Q shows up around 2017. Ryan just put out a post on the X about it again. And everybody is still lying about the Q. That is your Department of Energy with all these surveillance databases, with DHS biosurveillance watching over the body area networks. Or else, none of this or this would be real, would be happening, have market share. Okay? So what they did is they took your data from you watching the Q, and back here in 2019, read right to the brain. It wasn't just at Battelle. DARPA's Next Generation N3 has multiple universities involved. Okay, DARPA N3, just look for that. It'll tell you all about non-surgical. Non-surgical means don't need to cut you open, don't need a chip in your head. Brain-machine interface for able-bodied. Able-bodied. That means I'm logging into your brain, overwriting your cells, period. It does not mean I get to click my heels, someone's going to give me a choice, I have some super secret magic placebo effect. No. It means 6 paths to the non-surgical future of brain-machine interface in 2019. Battelle, Carnegie Mellon, Johns Hopkins, Palo Alto, Rice University, and Teledyne Scientific. So, you out there that will not quit talking about this Q crap as if it is some magical military motion to do all the work for you so that you don't have to read, you don't have to be bothered, you don't need to worry, the military is going to save you. Okay, Q, people, you got problems, not the least of which is our cognitive warfare. Oh, man. I got my Frontiers journal here first, I think. So, cognitive warfare, a conceptual analysis of the NATO Act Cognitive Warfare Exploratory Concept. Let's see, when are you? 2024, what do we got? Machine learning and AI. because cognitive warfare is about logging into your brain. You got Professor Giordano out there. You have all these people that are using the following. Drive a drone with your mind. Yes, you can drive or control a drone with your mind using a brain-computer interface that translates neural signals into commands. So do these look like super secret operatives to you? No. There's all sorts of different ways to do it with BioPython and a closed loop brain-computer interface. Okay? It's commercial, as in you can start your coffee pot, you can open your garage door, BioPython some more, you got options, all right? So knowing that, along with brain to brain, which is in its infancy and being worked on since 2014, 15, 17, multi-sender to single receiver, brain, 2019. Biosurveillance on every single human body for body area networks. Excuse me. DARPA's next generation non-surgical neurotechnology. More than just Battelle. And all of this started off of, we're going to drip drop information because if we tell on them, they'll sue us. Now, that's what Jones said. I said, this is an IARPA type of thing. IARPA, the Intelligence Advanced Research Projects Activity. They're like DARPA for the intelligence community. IARPA works with nerds, the GitHub, and they give them data and ask them to scrape specific data for the intelligence community, usually at the DEF CON and all those different types of places, okay? So, for example, let's see. I had you up here before. Here we go. Now, this is an older example, all right? Past research has shown that publicly available data can accurately forecast societal events, such as civil unrest and disease outbreaks. For example, Department of Defense's Integrated Crisis Early Warning System and IARPA's open source indicators have developed methods to forecast, like the weather, societal events using structural data. What is the meaning of structural data? Information organized in a fixed, well-defined format, like data sets for databases. Yeah, which is exactly big data, which is exactly what the Q movement was doing, talking to people on the apps on their phone, giving it to other influencers with the Keybase app. There was no magic. There was no military. It was these people and their influencer friends. Why? Because in our operations for the military, I go over this, it seems like every other day. What are perception, management, operations? The strategic process of shaping and influencing how a target audience perceives information to affect their emotions, motives, and objective reasoning, ultimately leading to desired behavior. Your internet of behavior. Internet of behavior. Forbes magazine, pre-crime, big data, 2023. Virginia Tech, LinkedIn, jobs to alter your behavior. More than just what you buy, although that's for sale too. It can encompass various methods, including public affairs, psychological operations, MILDEC, military deception, and counter-deception, counterintelligence, and is used by governments, militaries, and corporations to achieve strategic objectives, manage reputations, or influence public opinion. What are information operations at the DoD? In the U.S. Department of Defense, soon to be the Department of War again, information operations refer to the integrated use of information-related capabilities to influence, disrupt, or protect the decision-making of adversaries and potential adversaries, while also safeguarding friendly information and operations. So, whether it was information operations to support military information, IO, information operations, is also utilizing and manipulating information and the information environment to gain a competitive advantage, and it encompasses various activities such as MISO, military information support operations, formerly psychological operations. They don't even call them PsyOps anymore in that way because they're tangential to all these data sets with electronic warfare. Information assurance and deception. They still have psychological operations, but that's the least of everything, in my opinion, just in the way that they have them delineated. But that's just an opinion in how they organize what they call things. This is big data running through your body with data analytics. Period. This is IARPA. They're the DARPA of the intelligence community. Forecasting, like the weather. Societal events. Okay? Then we have another problem. Integrated disease. Excuse me. Electronic integrated disease surveillance system. The digital software or platform designed to strengthen the monitoring and reporting of infectious diseases by integrating data from various sectors, including human, animal, and environmental health in near real time. CDC, yada, yada, yada. They're watching your body, area network. They're doing it electronically. Public health surveillance. Oh, I don't believe it. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. COVID. Sorry, I did that backwards. COVID, W-band. And you're going to find Internet of Things-based GPS-assisted surveillance system with the W-band watching your blood pressure, oxygen, and heart rate. You're going to find the intelligent and efficient wireless body area network to watch the COVID spread between bodies using the LoRa, the Internet of Things, and your biosensors. How do they do it? Algorithms connected to your anatomy that you need to admit to so you understand. They're using you. They're using your biology, your biosignals. No, I don't want your text. Biosignals are the physiological signals from a living organism that can be continuously measured and monitored, including electrical, chemical, mechanical, and optical signals. Common examples are electrocardiogram for the heart, electroencephalogram for the brain, and electromyogram for muscle activity. That's all done remotely for physiological signal acquisition. Now, they can do it if you have a wearable, easier. They can do it if you're using a health app, easier. They don't need that.
Oh, you're stupid.
19 years, professional conferences, it's wireless. Because your body is constantly putting off all these measurable electrical biochemical signals, because your body is electrical and electromagnetic. Okay? See other videos if you want more dug in details, but it's that simple. Your body is a walking antenna of biological signals. The machine learning, the air around you, is always watching and sensing. Trillion sensors program. Okay? So, what has happened is that we have human activity recognition radar, non-contact radar using radio waves to detect and classify human movements and actions in a non-contact, privacy-preserving manner. These systems are increasingly used in applications like elderly care, for help, I've fallen and I can't get up, smart homes, security surveillance, and our college textbook, emerging technologies for drive the drone with my mind and all the other stuff. Human computer interaction with technology like millimeter wave, frequency modulated continuous wave, deep learning, the Doppler is not for the weather, to identify activities like walking, falling, or performing gestures with high accuracy. They look right through the wall. They're using something called feature extraction. They're watching everything you do in your own home all the time. Dump it into a spectrogram, and it doesn't look like this. See these little blobs of what is all that? When it shows up on the cell phone or iPad of whoever it is that is watching your human activity recognition with video or sensors or radar or radio frequency, or through your own phone or a wearable you're wearing, or your air molecules known as visible light communication, whatever they want. They watch you sitting, standing, laying, walking, jumping, anything that you are doing is all categorized into something called a data cube. Frequency modulated continuous wave radar cubes. There's you, the human. TX means transmission. RX means reception. There's the raw radar cube. And from there, they can pull walking, sitting, standing, bending, drinking, falling. Now, again, this is a spectrogram. Excuse me. So right here, you're looking at this little blue blob and you're going, that don't make no sense to me. No, but it does to them. Radar data, raw radar data or otherwise. Data cube, spectrogram. Then it shows up on their cell phone or their device with a different way that it looks, called a graphic user interface. It can be written any way they want so that all they get is the data they want to see. Okay? So we are in a very serious situation with this, because instead of telling people that we've been looking under their skin for 30 years commercially, not in R&D, not in the secret military, no, with companies, for the very things that I read out to you. This is for help, I've fallen and I can't get up. This is for assisted living. This is for additional security. Yeah, and it's also for like rooting through your veins and arteries, watching you think in real time, and changing out your cells at the nanometrology, meaning measurement scale. Nanobots, 2003. Nanotechnology, the 80s. We never needed to be scared sideways about what is going on here. We needed people to tell the truth about the way it physically works. Well, I don't think they are going to do that. Every action they continue to take goes a different direction, but I am technically not here. The only reason I'm here is because I was grateful to see two things. Sunday night, Jones corrects all of you again, because he's done it before. So as Tori says, I do it all the time, that this Q, artificial intelligence, Keybase app handed out to influencers. I can't say for sure if it was an IARPA program, but it wouldn't surprise me. Using the same Department of Homeland Security secure artificial intelligence Q clearance omics accessible databases. Logging into your head, making sure you're paying attention to that Q and watching everything you do. They do this for everything, not just the Q stuff. It's kind of their job to keep watching you and every neuron that you have body-wide since the 70s. No joke. So the sooner that you let it go and understand a group of people got together to manipulate the perception of the American public. Why? Because that's what they do. In operations, whether it's information operations, perception management operations, whatever, it's what they do. But it is not real. It was there to leak the WikiLeaks and get everybody talking about the Epstein. If you're truly interested in what Epstein was talking about, that you're going to be over here at the Augmented Human Conferences for 15 years. And what I suggest people do is they go to the website for the conference, the Augmented Humans International Conference 2024, an in-person event held in April at the Cowfield campus. And then what I do is I go to their list of workshops, because they'll have a listing: intelligent music interfaces, interactive assistant, and adaptive augmentation, developing strategies for co-designing assistive augmentation, exploring shared bodily control, designing augmented human systems for intra and intercorporeality. This is something the porn industry has had for years. Sorry. The human-computer interaction community has evolved from using body sensing to body actuating technologies, transforming the body's role from a mere input to an input-output medium. With body sensing, the separation between the human and the computer is clear, allowing for easy understanding of who is in control of your own body, you or the computer. However, with body actuating technologies, this separation diminishes. These technologies integrate more closely with our bodies, where both the user and the technology can share control over their bodily interactions. In this workshop, we will explore the notion of sharing control, specifically focusing on experiences where users interact with their own bodies, intracorporeal experiences, and interact with others using technology, intercorporeal experiences. Our discussions and group activities will focus on brainstorming and designing within human augmentation, examining how this shared control can lead to innovative applications. Then you have references where the Association for Computing Machinery, so they can reach right through your body. They can move your hands, close your eyes, turn off the different components of biosensors, electrocute you from the inside out. Yeah, that's called intra-body communication. They're using your own nervous system as a backbone for the Internet of Medical Things. Not a maybe, not a we don't know. It's an actual medical application of ultrasound, high frequency, low frequency, millimeter wave, terahertz, optical, coupling of all kinds. That's the 1700s. Ultrasounds in the air molecules. The fiber optic cables that used to just be underground are now above ground as well, in something they call dark fiber. It's basically wireless fiber optics. Uses neural graph networks or graph neural networks and a whole lot of recursive neural networks and other types of free space optical. They use the air molecules to run computer data. No different than your Wi-Fi in your house. So, you people, you got some learning to do. You need to get over here so you can see that every single body for cyber biosecurity is tethered to the cloud. For your kill box, for your cyber command, for your human augmentation all over the land, worldwide, for human activity recognition radar, for security, for the elderly, for assisted living, okay? Millimeter wave radar and integrating machine learning and deep learning for accurate real-time recognition. You've got to get this figured out because we have a problem with something called cognitive warfare. It focuses on influencing the opponent's reasoning decisions. They always explain it like it's, ooh, we're going to bullshit you to death. But this is actually about brain-computer interface. This is about potentially putting malware on your internal organs. And that's scary. Yeah, to me, that's like one of the scariest things. It's not a vaccine if it requires graphene. The biocyber interface is a biotechnology device that bridges the gap between biological signals and digital systems. It's a biodigital convergence. They want to translate your biology into more synthetic digital technology under your skin, enabling communication and control with the Internet of Bio-Nanothings. It works by converting biochemical biosignals, such as those from in-body nanonetworks, into electrical signals for regular cyber networks and vice versa. Biofets, electronic tattoos, a molecular communication, okay, are used to create these interfaces, which are crucial for applications in healthcare, personalized medicine, precision eugenics AI healthcare, and environmental monitoring. So what it is your body area network is on the cloud. Nobody is going to give you access to your W-band because it wouldn't be cyber secure. It's never been set up that way. Databases are curated. There are multiple ways to log into your body. Are you using electronic tattoos, transdermal patches, RFID? Are you using a health app with your phone, etc., etc.? That includes the W-band over here with the near field channel, the Bluetooth. And you will notice that the security in the Internet of Bio-Nanothings is the same as when we have a denial of service attack. It's right there. Eavesdropping, man in the middle, data tampering. Okay? Now, there is a lot of security on these networks because they're dealing with medical. Yes. But because of all the lying, like with the stupid Q, people do not understand that their biocyber interface is available to hackers, and people do not understand that our country is legitimately at war with itself, other countries. Like, there's a lot of problems right now. So the warfare doctrine of our country is electronic warfare. Electronic warfare. How does electronic warfare work? See what it says. It uses the electromagnetic spectrum. Okay? That's your millimeter wave, your radio frequency, all these different technologies that they have for LiDAR and machine learning and algorithms, logging into your body, logging into sensors, your biosensors, your environmental sensors, just to be overly generic without drowning everybody in the weeds. And electronic warfare is radar, communication. I'm always looking for where they list out the terahertz optical they always talk about. Jamming, radar jamming. Here's electro-optical, infrared, radio frequency. The physics of electromagnetic energy. That's listed right here. because that's what they use, that's what they do. You have electronic attack. It's an offensive use of electromagnetic energy. Electronic defense and electronic surveillance, like electronic integrated disease, surveillance of everything happening under your skin, which is called remote health monitoring. Oh, it's remote neural monitoring. Lovely. Remote health monitoring is a technology that uses digital devices to collect and transmit health data from patients to providers. Oh, well, they're always in the office. No, they are not. That is incorrect. Mobile health, which is M-Health, is very popular for using different types of software to pull, P-O-L-L, your vital signs. This is WBand Omnet, 9 years old, on the YouTube. It's very simple. Your body is electrical. You naturally emit biosignals. They have 19 years of conferences doing this professionally. Here's the doctor. The doctor is not in your house. The doctor is wherever the doctor is. They send a electronic packet. That is the same way we do email and text message, but this is your body. The doctor sends a signal to your body area network. And the doctor says, I want blood flow, heart signal, and temperature from human and human 1. See? See the little images go off? Heart signal and temperature. Watch. There goes the blood flow and the heart signal. Now we're going to go to human 1 and human 2. It's going to go to the internet. Then it's going to go to the doctor. It's just that simple. You have to admit that you are tethered to the cloud for things like this, remote health monitoring, cyber biosecurity, people using all these different brain-computer interfaces. This is your body area network, okay? And that's the old phrase. The medical body area network is an update. The digital twins are a new update. I have a WBand update. This body area network is started around 1995. The intra-body communication I'm showing you here with the same electronic warfare systems we've had for 70 years is now under the skin. And your own central nervous system is the backbone for them to get out and get in of your biological signals. Nobody is stupid. Nobody is playing dumb here at universities and for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. Everybody understands they are under the skin with biosignals for our current warfare doctrine, which is network-centric warfare with electronic warfare systems. And because it is mosaic warfare, network-centric warfare, using drones and different networks to keep the nation secure, which includes bodies, your network-centric warfare doctrine with drone warfare requires an aim and fire, a targeting system. And for that, you have your network-centric warfare body area network updated over and over again using sensors. M-Health, just like over here with the COVID WBand, where they're watching the biosensor signals from the patient and transmit them to the cloud directly. So this is a very quick blurb for the Q people. Please read what I am putting here for you to understand. You are tethered to the cloud. They are watching that for cybersecurity. DARPA can overwrite your brain tissue. IARPA is real good friends with the GitHub. This is not surprising. It is what they do. signals intelligence, operation management, big data. They are digging around in your veins and arteries using eugenics databases they've had for 100+ years with the DoD 50 years of digital twins. None of this is new. It has all been there since the Vietnam era, being updated, which is why over here in 2019, it is read write to the brain. Human augmentation has more than just conferences. They have projects at universities. They have market share. Human augmentation. Market share. How is that possible? Because everybody lied about Human 2.0 and the Agenda 2030 goals. Greta cried. Nobody cares. I'm so done with all these red herrings and excuses. The president just announced Healthcare 4.0. So if you are a Q person, that's the first thing you should have been looking at. Healthcare 4.0. Oh, what is that? Your body area network to the cyber physical? Oh, no, that's impossible. No, that's your healthcare system. It's right there. Body area network, cyber healthcare. Yeah, you're connected to something called the Department of Commerce with NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, right there where it says human in the box, with healthcare down here, energy, transportation, electronic corridors. Yeah, cyber physical systems. There's you, the human, in the box. And the reason you don't know this, that when RFK and Trump are talking about your Healthcare 4.0, which again, wide area, local area, that's a body area network with sensors, sensing and actuating, like I just read to you from the American Computer Society, actuating a signal to make sure a physical change takes place inside the body, under the skin. Okay, here they are. This is your Department of Commerce. Here it is. Cyber Healthcare Systems, Biomedical Engineering, 2018, Health Informatics. This is just one of the easiest pictures. You're going to find it the same way every time because you're connected to the Department of Commerce for the oversight and protection.
For those of you joining me and have no idea who this is presenting this video, because it's obviously not me, that is Sabrina Wallace. You can find her over on Rumble. She's also on BitChute. So just look for her. She has various entities she goes by. She's non-vaxxer 420 on Rumble. The woman is a beast. How she just presents this stuff, just so rapid fire. It's quite difficult to keep up. I don't expect you to catch it all on the first time. This is my second time to pay attention to this video. I missed those numbers on the human augmentation market share. And I've been telling everybody this, for quite a while now. I've done videos that, man, they should be going viral, and they don't. They're just DOA. So I can't make people listen. I can't make people pay attention. All I can do is just follow what I'm told to do day after day after day. And I listen, I research, I read, and I analyze in a reasonable, logical manner. And I'm telling you, folks, as long as we have smart devices, that's it. And now you heard her, and she's addressing this towards the Q movement. All right. Now I want you to, if you just jumped in the middle or something, just caught on, you didn't start at the very beginning, I want you to go back and re-listen to it and just listen. You don't have to even look at the screen. But what you're hearing is the Antichrist. This is the New World Order, folks. Played out right there. That is the Antichrist defined scientifically. Absolutely. You heard it here first. And watch, this video won't go anywhere. Let's get back to the video. Leave a comment because there's another video that I can play, and this is an hour and a half video, so it's probably going to go an hour and 45 total to finish out with Sabrina, and then this panel she brings on at the very end. It'll blow you away as well. So leave me a comment if you want me to just continue it and play another video that's a very complimentary video to this one. I'll do it. Let me get back over here to the Q is Department of Energy, AI. Let me get my mug off here so I get back to work.
A biosurveillance with DHS because it's our warfare doctrine. Right. And it's not new. Okay. 2005. It's very old. See other videos. So why are we in this position? Because people lied for 25 years of the convergence of nanotechnology, biotechnology, information technology, and cognitive neuroscience. Cognitive science, including cognitive neuroscience. So what we ended up with, there's all those omics, the biotechnologies, the genetic engineering, and human augmentation. Nobody said a word. Everyone just went, oh, the planet is dying. Nobody said a word about the smart city conversion, the biosensors, the biobots since 2003. But under health and medicine, good health and well-being, section 3, human augmentation. Tell me how. Well, first of all, you have your warfare doctrine with the network-centric system or systems of systems to keep bodies safe. Second of all, you have sensors in the trillion sensor systems connected to the Department of Commerce with underground supercomputers, as again, since the 70s, of all types of sensors. And the sensors are made out of your own cells. Graphene is heavily in use with Rice University and friends and everybody since 1985, blah, blah, blah. You can see that at nano.gov, okay? They have a digital twin. It all works the same way as your Bitcoin. And what they did is they wanted smart everything everywhere for more than the smart cities. They have it already. It's already done. There's this fantasy of, oh, they don't have it. That's a fantasy. Please don't fall for that. Check your market share. Check your business. See how far along it is. Remote patient monitoring to be able to log into your body with behavior modification with the Internet of Behaviors on Forbes magazine. Companies can advertise to you in your dreams. It's legal. They sell your DNA on the NASDAQ with data sets with other companies. They're working on laws for that right now. There's all sorts of discussions. They haven't figured it out yet. Meanwhile, they've been under the skin for 30 years. Your new healthcare will be the same. See, and this pisses me off because here they're showing actuators that look like big machinery, and they do have them. But the actuators that they're using under the skin for cardiac defibrillators, cochlear ear plants, and insulin pumps are not the same. Anyways, so they've been working on these sensor systems with body area networks, body sensor networks, the M-band, since the 70s forward, along with the trillion sensors technology, micro electromechanical systems. Google fingers have fun. Now it's all the Internet of Medical Things under your skin. Yep, that's exactly right. And that's exactly what it says. The Internet of Medical Things paradigm will enable next generation healthcare, like next generation air dominance, by enhancing human abilities, supporting continuous body monitoring. Okay? So how we ended up here was the nerds lied about being decentralized. Nobody even knew what they were talking about. And a bunch of other people known as influencers worked jobs where their job was to lie to the public about what this is, how far along it is, and what's going on. So they did. They said there were no biosensors. They ran people in circles. They lied about aliens. Meanwhile, it's a eugenics database with data workflow professionally in IBM business and all sorts of other business. For health level 7, fast health interoperable records for your personalized medicine, exactly the way Trump and RFK have been telling you. We're going to save the world by having sensors in everything, air, water, soil, biota, and we do. Those are the same sensors with the trillion sensor program hooked to the NIST in the soil, the food, the pathogens, the water, the environment, it's everywhere. wastewater-based epidemiology, and then on page 56, cyborg is circled, bionic implants, exoskeleton, because human augmentation technologies have been mandated for every nation. Page 58, enhanced intelligence, enhanced sensing, disease-free bodies, sports optimization, digital hardware, enhanced strength, increased attractiveness, optimized diet, extreme aging, digital biometrics, and under the skin, constant and continual monitoring, because everyone is going to be a billionaire and be super smart and super attractive, and everybody's going to live forever. And this is the bullshit you're falling for. That's not even by mean, median, and mode possible, but that's what they've sold to people. Now, the stakeholders of the blockchain, the people who are millionaires for real, billionaires for real, they know what this is because they can afford it. But for those of us plebes on this pyramidal system, we are not going to be given choices like they are. Now, again, the young nerds believe everyone is going to be a superhero and live forever because the young nerds are the ones helping them get under everyone's skin and start changing out cells.
Marvel
and nobody wants
universe.
to talk
Here
about
we
it. That is our
come.
cognitive warfare technology with NATO right now today.
I guess we get to choose which comic book universe we want to live in. We don't have to be Marvel, right? Ooh, man, this is getting good.
Digital twins.
Digital twins.
Hang on, I'm looking for my NATO
Sabrina?
document. Had a really, really good one come up.
The digital twins. Who's got digital twins? They all have digital twins, folks. They all have digital universes, digital dimensions. Multi-dimensional. Oh, here we go.
Glitter pans.
Tell us about it, Sabrina. Come on.
Okay.
Ding, 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 ding. I want to be a superhero.
Don't need to hear any more about that. Not interested.
Alone on the range.
This is the bigger plan. Mega regions in 2050. Here we are. So the science and technology trends for 2020 to 2040 with the NATO Science and Technology Organization. And then what you got to do is you have to scroll all the way down past quantum technologies. We're going to get there and here, folks. Blue, NATO military capabilities enabled by next generation. Quantum technologies are anticipated to offer unprecedented improvements. Yeah. Position, navigation, and timing. Happy fun time. Space technologies. You're going to scroll past all of this. And like I said, I'll be back with this for the normal people later. Hypersonics. Military implications. Biotechnology and human enhancement. Yeah. And keywords, medicine, human enhancement technologies. It's always the prosthetics, but it's also microfluidics, biosensors, big data, bioinformatics, right? So synthetic biology and human augmentation. Now let's take a look at how NATO defines that, shall we? Mixed reality, virtual reality, social networks, robotics, AI, prosthetics, exoskeletons, neuroelectronics, rehabilitation, neuroscience, robotics, teleoperations, autonomy, cognitive performance, computational artificial intelligence, trusted autonomy, perceptual enhancements, then your medical countermeasures with CBRN, and your synthetic biology, genetic engineering, like I said, eugenics databases, DNA sequencing and exploitation, biomanufacturing, modified microbiome, living sensors. Where you been? Listening to the Q-tards lie to you about what our military is actually dealing with right now. So if you are a Q person and you actually want to be helpful and you want to be supportive, could you please learn what the warfare doctrine actually is so that you can actually know what the hell is going on? If they say super soldier, We're not dealing in James Rink and what they did to that man with CIA handlers. We're talking about IITSEC, which is what I'm going to show you to close. And before I do, I'm also going to throw in here IITSEC, because I do this all the time for people that are genuinely confused. They've been psyoped, they're hurt, they're mad, they're sad, whatever. You don't need to do that, but you need to understand that the congressional supercomputer modeling software that we use with these digital twins for 50 years, NVIDIA, Space Force, this is all very real network-centric warfare technology. The people you are about to see on the stage are here on page 20, and you are dealing with the non-invasive brain stimulation team in the cognitive performance optimization section at Applied Neuroscience Branch of the United States Air Force. And of course, a little DevCom and SAIC engineering. Okay? They have very real super soldier technology. And right here in the beginning, they're going to tell you that while they're talking amongst themselves. And then he's going to show you the same. Non-invasive N3. The same. Human augmentation technology with the same. Biosensors, DNA-based molecular computing. The same. Network-centric warfare. The same everything. Everything. With digital twins, human augmentation, cyber physical systems. It's all connected because you are a cyber physical system naturally that they connect to their cloud systems with your own natural biology known as your bioelectricity. Okay. And the Q operation working with IARPA in some capacity, I'm purposely being generic so that people aren't all butthurt, but they are watching you for whatever operation they want to. And since 2019, with our read write to the brain and our appropriate military biological surveillance, everybody seems to know what's going on in business and in neuroscience and in information communication technology at all these different universities, in all these different white paper professional peer-reviewed journals, at the Internet of Medical Things. And apparently, Trump and RFK Jr. know more than the influencers who are still screaming bioweapon. It's a biocyber interface. Apparently, Trump and RFK have been going out there telling people it's your new healthcare 4.0. Excuse me a moment. That's what I'm looking for. Your healthcare 4.0 is not going away. You're stuck with it. It is what it is. It's part of network-centric warfare. And so now, after 30 years of working all these databases out with companies, your healthcare 4.0 is your body area network. I'm sorry that nobody told you that. I'm sorry that all these people were obfuscating these networks. It is what it is. So now you don't need to fight about it. You don't need to get upset about it. You need to learn about it so you understand that you are the human here in the box and you are connected to the Department of Commerce. And that is it. You have got to stop imagining and daydreaming that the people in our military, who are good people, are using a magic wand, Santa Claus in the store. They're all using the same systems on the back end of our country. Joint Force Headquarters, United States Cyber Command, Cyber Operational Readiness and Assessment, DODIN, no longer the Global Information Grid, and prior to the Global Information Grid, the Sentient World Simulation. It is now the DODIN. That is our backbone for the DISN, which is the Defense Information Systems Network. 2014, Computer Weekly, CIPRNet Control, Drone Control Grid for drone warfare. The network does the killing with the Killbox. Defense Information Systems Network, backbone for CIPR and the NIPR and the MILNET and all the rest. You guys, I swear to you, I am so tired of going over this. But it is what it is. People just, they don't know how the military actually works. Well, as for security, you did not help yourselves with this Q crap. You did serious damage. People lost their homes, people lost their relationships, and it was all just to play with perception because you couldn't admit our new healthcare. Yeah. So, Milnet, here it is, back in 2011 with PACCOM. Okay. And we have different networks on the DISN backbone, like Zipper and Nipper and JWix and Milnet. And they are separated. Keep them separated for cybersecurity. Okay. Now, when the drone or the network decides that you are a target with region of interest targeting rules of engagement applied, then it can use different satellite systems, a CubeSat, tons of things we discuss on our channel, or it can use software-defined radio, it can use radio frequency, tactical edge, predator drones, blah, blah, blah. It can use all sorts of different ways to access your body area network, okay? Space, airborne, defense, terrestrial, whatever. Why? Because you have a kill box since 2005 in which they have the whole Earth gridded out into the way that the laser systems for the drones actually see the planet. Geospatial handles a bunch of that. So what they do is they call up a planned kill box. They get the geospatial area of the planet. And here you are as the little blue guy down here. And there's a plane, an aeroplane, and a missile. Because the kill box is not just for humans. It's for anything that they're looking at. 2005, here's the kill box for all the people that felt they needed to lie to the American public rather than tell them, hey, your new healthcare is kind of electrical. And we've been working on this for 30 years with companies. So we're good. We got lots of vendors like GE Healthcare. We're great. It's a body area network. We've talked about it before, direct from the FCC. Everybody knows what's going on back here in 2012. It's a body area network since 1995. We're good. We have biosurveillance with the DHS. We're going right under your skin. We're watching your cells in real time with precision healthcare. Take your cancer away in 48 hours. Not a problem. Our best universities are working on human augmentation. You don't need to be worried about anything. Every single human in the world is going to be augmented. They're all going to live forever. They're all going to be super strong. They're all going to be super hot. And that's it. And they're all going to be millionaires. This is probably why they didn't say it that way. Another reason they wouldn't have said it that way is because it's a bio-tokenized economy. So the decision was made to augment the chattel of the GDP. We cannot wait for the ethics of human augmentation to be decided for us. There may be a moral obligation to augment people, particularly in cases where it promotes well-being or protects us from novel threats, and it could be argued that treatment involving novel vaccination processes and gene and cell therapies are examples of human augmentation already in the pipeline, and the need to use human augmentation may ultimately be dictated by national interest. Countries may need to develop and use human augmentation or risk surrendering influence, national prosperity, and national security to other countries who will use human augmentation. The future of human augmentation should not be decided by ethicists or public opinion. Governments will need to develop clear policy that maximizes the use of human augmentation in support of national security and national prosperity. Well, what did the United States say in 2023 while they're busy making living weapons, bioweapon soldiers? They said, just because we can, should we? Well, we will still be worrying about it in 30 years' time, but the Chinese will have just done it. So, the governments of the world do not want your opinion. They already augmented people, especially themselves with the stakeholders, to live forever. It's called life extension technology, regenerative medicine. At places like Harvard and Tufts University. And the reason you don't know any of that is because you were busy watching the Q people. Those are humans. Not all of them were directed by the military. Some of them are just assholes that make money off of people's lack of knowledge. So people like myself, Non-Vaxxer 420, the Boomasan, and now, again, even Jones, You have been fucked with. You need to let it go because you are harming everyone by continuing to lie about this stupid operation that did not go well for them. So I'm going to play it again, Sam. Then I'm going to play the super soldier, and then we're done here. Thank you very, very much. Have a great week. It is September 1st, 2025. My name is Sabrina Wallace. I have spoken about this problem in my country numerous times. People are not prepared for drone warfare. They do not know how to do triage. They have some jamming and slamming ideas, but the vector of approach for both the healthcare 4.0 and the drone warfare is a piece of human anatomy called the human biofield. I would suggest you learn about it today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your consideration. Please do not blame yourself. If you really didn't know, that's not your fault. That is the fault of a lot of people making a lot of money off the suffering all around us, which is why I often get called names, because I refuse to be nice about this type of violence against our own friends and neighbors. Nobody needs to lie about this. Nobody. We need education out there for real so people know what they're looking at. Period. So here on the Synergy channel, we endeavor to do better. Don't blame yourself if you didn't know. I hope you learn. But for those of you that are still running this weird operational, I don't even know what to call it because I know it's not operational, but I don't know, but I don't think so. Whatever. I hope you can learn and let go and do something positive and help people for real by educating them on their healthcare 4.0 or drone warfare or different types of drones that we're using, like Pete Hegseth's out there talking about now. At least that way, you can help one another. With the way you're still doing it, all this daydreaming and garbage, you're confusing people and you're going to be putting people in danger, because I assure you, there are other countries out there that, in spite of my opinion, they want to go to war. Well, our country is wide open because our civilian population is so divided with all these operations and all the lying and all the ongoing drama. So let's bring the noise level down. Let's put this to bed. Your Q operation failed. Then the influencers fucked it up worse, got a hold of it, and it's still there with people who are fraudulent. Everyone who's serious is not happy about this, but we've all just been working along. Let's put this to bed. Your Q operation failed. Then the influencers fucked it up worse, got a hold of it, and it's still there with people who are fraudulent. Everyone who's serious is not happy about this, but we've all just been working along, letting people know it's fraudulent. Now it's up to you to stop carrying the Q. It's not real. They did it because they were worried about being sued over the WikiLeaks, according to him. They have other reasons for what they were looking at for biometrics. That's all it is. They do this stuff all the time. Have a great week, folks. Mark 5:36. Amen.
Called in. But it
We're going to show this panel, but all the information that we just covered, I've been talking about. Drones. When all these drones started popping up over Jersey, remember that? Well, I went and did my own research. I went and investigated every freaking military, every government in the world, what their current and future drone technology would be. Did a video on it. Y'all can go watch it. It's not like when I present this stuff to you, I'm bringing it to you, somebody doesn't know what they're doing. There's chemtrails now, again. So they're back out spraying. Money came from somewhere, scheduled, I don't know. We don't know. The government's against us. Just imagine. People are unprepared for what is coming. That's why I'm trying to show people these videos. I do my own research. That's why I told y'all, man, Rice University's in my backyard. I mean, Jesus, man, I really need to get on those folks because that sounds like, Well, I know U of H was, but definitely Rice. Yeah. So it's pretty wild what's going on. Please pay attention. I hope you learned something from this video. Again, if you want me to play another video after this, just let me know. If not, I'll get back to my legal work that I'm over here doing. Where can you find me? I'm the Fearless Floyd Show everywhere. Just put that in your search engine. You'll find me. I'm not hard to find. Sabrina Wallace, 420, or Unvaxxer 420. It's 1X. She's over on BitChute, I believe, or Odyssey, one of those two. Psionics. You can find her over on Rumble. You can sign up with her newsletter. She just put in Sabrina Wallace in your search engine. You'll find her. Sign up for her newsletter. I get them all the time when she's putting out new lives. So pay attention, everybody, what's coming on, because the people, and this is what I tell everybody, your number one priority is your health. Okay. I don't give a crap about anything else. If you're not paying attention to your health, why are you working so hard for your future? Right? So if you want to enjoy the fruits of your labor, well, then you should probably take care of your health. And that's just part of it right now, is understanding what's going on and what we need to do. So there are protocols for all this stuff. As I said, I'm moving into the health. I'm just trying to get this legal stuff out of the way. It's been a bugger for sure. Too much paperwork. So let's get back to the video. Thank you, everybody. As I said, it doesn't look like anybody wants to watch the second video, so you can go find it on Rumble yourself. But let's get back to Sabrina Wallace. After this Alex Jones segment, there will be the panel that she showed you, and that's the Air Force. And let me tell you, once upon a time, I used to work for this development company, and in that role, I was required to find things or services for the CEO president, and they were always just off the top. One of these endeavors, I ended up talking to a Department of Defense Naval Research Laboratory at Penn State University. Honest to God, I was talking to an associate professor. It was about this specific technology that they had released public that was perfect for security, which I'm sure they use everywhere. It would make sense, but it's wholly different now. But anyway, then at that time, it was state-of-the-art technology. So I ended up talking to him. We had a conversation, and some of the technologies that they were having that weren't public, that he could share with me, that weren't classified or top secret, I was like, wow. And you have to know and comprehend that all the branches of military have all these other little departments and stuff that, do all this research and interact with universities and colleges and research and development companies, defense contractors, AI companies, blah, 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 blah. It just goes down the list. And a lot of this is so compartmentalized. And that's why I tell everybody, what we're seeing, we have no idea what's going on in these other countries like China. Because believe me, this is a race. This is a race between countries and the wealthiest people in the world to get the alpha AI. Because once they get the alpha AI, they will become a demigod. They will control everything. You already see right now. You wonder why you feel bad some days? Well, maybe they just turn it up to 11. Yeah, we're gonna mess with Shirley today. We're gonna put her into depression. make her go back to bed. Anything's possible. I hear people, they contact me, they tell me they're targeted, and maybe they are. I just don't have physical proof that they are. I believe that they believe that they are. So yeah, it's a thing. So here we go. Let's get back to this. Let me get my ugly mug off here.
It was bizarre. Trump writes his own tweets, but the Truth Social stuff, a lot of the memes, he doesn't. So when I saw this today, we'll put it on screen, the HD of it, please. The world will soon understand nothing can stop what is coming. And in his hand is Q+. Q+ is in the Q lore, starts in 2017. That's the Q leader, or Trump. So did Trump post this? I don't know. Is Trump saying he's Q? I mean, does Trump say they're going to build a golden statue of him in Gaza and create an AI smart city? No. They just post a lot of funny stuff that's fan-made. Trump didn't make this. It was made by Spiritual Street Fighter. But clearly they knew what that was going to mean and do, and that's just, I guess, feeding into the Q base. Q was created because when the WikiLeaks came out and people like myself and others posted it, and Drudge posted it, we got like 90 million reads just on one INFORCE article about the spirit cooking and John Podesta, that they legally came after everybody even though it was real. And so there was a discussion, I wasn't in on it at that time, about how do we anonymously put all this stuff out and then not get attacked for it. And so as soon as Trump got inaugurated, they're like, hey, we're setting this thing up. We're going to do these little Q drops and shots at the White House on Air Force One, added credibility. And I'm like, who's behind it? Well, this person had the idea and we're doing it. And blah, blah, blah. Was the big guy know? Well, we've been turned loose, whatever. And then later they come down like, hey, we want you to get involved. And I said, listen, my issue is just like anonymous. You can have somebody that's good putting on a Guy Fawkes mask saying things, we're anonymous, but the general public thinks it's like a real thing, one big conglomerate. I said, how are you going to stop stuff and disinfo and then manipulating people thinking they're actually, part of this thing? It's very esoteric. It's very Gnostic. I said, I think it's going to go sideways, but I'll support the stuff you guys push that I think isn't bad. And then later, like, oh, you're right. 6 months later, they got taken away and too much disinfo, and yeah, we're not doing that anymore. Please don't tell anybody about it. So that's what happened. Yeah, I mean, is Trump really the Pope? He posted that. Okay, no, he's not. Has Trump got a golden statue of himself in Gaza? No, he doesn't. So that's my issue with this. And it created so much exuberance in 2020 that Trump was invincible and trust the plan, and Hillary's been executed at Gitmo. And there's thousands held there that people didn't go out and vote because they thought we were invincible. And Roger quietly bemoaned the Q thing, saying Trump's probably going to lose because the landslide won't be big enough because of this Q type crap. So, and Roger Stone's his top political advisor. He's the real deal. Okay? So that's where this is. That's reality. That's not crazy town. That's the real world. Now, I got a few other things.
Good afternoon. Wait a minute, I heard one. That's all we got? The energy? It's the first day of ITSIC. Come on, good afternoon. Great. So that we want a good start to this because we expect to have some good dynamic conversation today. We are going to have a couple of slides and a little bit of presentations, but really, I'm going to surprise our panelists with a set of questions. Yes, that's right. You heard surprise a little bit because I wanted their actual gut reactions to how this topic will play out in the future, or is it here, right? Myth or reality? We don't know yet. So, and we're going to start out initially with a couple of introductions, a couple of slides, go into questions, and we want you folks also, who are the experts too, to provide questions and comments and conversation with us, right? So we want this to be really dynamic and to have great involvement and interaction. Okay, so this topic, is the dawn of the super soldier. Now, as much as I would love to take credit for this, I cannot. I have to thank Mariam Chandri for leading the efforts with a group to come up with this topic and organizing this wonderful panel that we have today, again, of experts too, throughout training, physiological, biological types of processes, various equipment, so exoskeletons, think those kinds of things, as well as selection. Okay, so we have a range of panelists here to cover the kind of breadth that might involve a super soldier. Now, when we hear super soldier, what do we usually think? Think Marvel, right? Captain America, you know, a variety of things. Iron Man, okay? So it could be any of these types of sci-fi ideas. But are they sci-fi? Maybe, or are we there? How close are we there, right? Or are they completely autonomous? Are they drones? It could be independent, right? So we have a variety of topics. We are going to go ahead and delve right into our introductions here. And actually, we're going to do this a little differently. Again, we're forward leaning with this topic. So rather than me just read off their bios, and I do know each of these individuals too, I think it's more fun for them to introduce themselves. So they are coming. I am Lauren Reinerman Jones, and I have an appointmentship with the DAU, special appointment professorship with DAU, as well as I'm an analyst for Southwest Research Institute. And I have a breadth of background, 25 years plus of DoD work across the services. So that's me in a nutshell. And I'll go on to Dr. Andy McKinley.
Hi, Andy McKinley. I'm a biomedical engineer by training. I manage the Air Force's neuroscience portfolio. So a lot of the work that I manage is focused on interfacing with the brain. How do we extract more information from the brain, and how do we augment brain activity in a way that improves performance? Also, can we inject information into the brain? Can we write to the brain? You know, think back to the Matrix for those of you that are old enough to, to remember that. But those types of technologies are actually starting to become real. And I actually have a little bit of data over here just to show real quick, just to kind of kick off the discussion. But yeah, so brain-machine interfaces, enhancing, sustaining, enabling, and restoring performance is what we focus on. So these are all healthy, normal people applications, so much in line with the super soldier idea. We work a lot with DARPA, but one of the projects that we have been engaged with for the past almost 6 years now has been looking at stimulating cranial nerves to change brain activity in ways that improve performance. And so the original DARPA program was called Targeted Neuroplasticity for Training, and the whole idea there was to see if you can stimulate a cranial nerve that downstream affects key pieces of brain, like locus coeruleus, that enhances memory acquisition and retention. And lo and behold, it does. So this is some of the data from the lab where we were doing a simulated ISR, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance task, where people were learning to identify targets, and people were able to learn about 20% faster. They were able to retain the information better, so about 90 days after we completed the training, the effect size actually got bigger. So now the difference is 35% between the groups, because the group that didn't get stimulation, or the group that got the sham stimulation, actually forgot more information more quickly. So their memory decay rate was faster. And so what does the technology look like? Well, it's this, essentially it looks like a razor, right? An electric razor. You'd hold it up to your neck for 2 minutes, and then you have hours of after effect. In fact, we did a study for NASA, which is down there in the bottom corner. We showed we could sustain performance for about 12 to 14 hours, and that has been replicated. These learning results have been replicated outside our lab, within other labs, and in the field. So We actually got some money from OUSD from a program called Boost, and the whole purpose of Boost is to take biotechnologies and get them the last little bit over the finish line to a product that is transitionable. And so what we developed is basically in this picture here. It's actually now a commercial product called TaxStim. They also have a commercial product for everybody else called the Truvaga. It's a company called Electrocore. But we did do validation out in the field. So we've done, this is one of the examples. This was with the Defense Language Institute. So we took real linguist trainees and we gave them a vocabulary learning task every day over the course of a week. And we found that, again, about a 20% acceleration in terms of their learning. One of the other really cool things was with their mood. So this device, at least the medical form of the device, has actually been cleared as a treatment for PTSD because of this robust mood effect, right? So people feel more energetic, less anxious, less nervous, they feel happier, they feel more confident in their ability to do the tasks. And one of the things that we found in this study was that more people that were doing the training, the folks getting the sham stimulation, they obviously got more tired after they finished the training. The folks that got stimulation, though, actually felt more energetic. So I don't know if you've ever sat down and decided, I'm going to learn a really hard foreign language like Arabic. I'm going to sit here and do this for an hour. And at the end of that hour, you're like, now I'm more energetic. I'm ready to go about the rest of my day. But these people felt that way, and that's just insane to me. So really robust effects on mood. And then we also are looking at new ways, new sensors to extract information from the brain. So there's a centralized neural learning system that just wrapped up, but we have a follow-on going now. But looking at some novel sensors, so a wearable magnetoencephalography system was one of the things that was under development here, and it's very, very, very close. So at any rate, this new technology will allow us to extract more information easier and have 3D localization capabilities as well. So we know where the signal is coming from in the brain with higher resolution. And then we've also been working with DARPA on this next generation non-surgical neurotechnologies program. So this is, we've actually been working with a company called Teledyne to look at technologies that are able to write to the brain at very high resolution. And so this is very early, so there's still a lot of development to do, but this is something that will be coming in the future to be able to wear a device that non-invasively can write information directly to your brain. With higher resolution. And then we've also been working with DARPA on this next generation non-surgical neurotechnologies program. So this is, we've actually been working with a company called Teledyne to look at technologies that are able to write to the brain at very high resolution. And so this is very early, so there's still a lot of development to do, but this is something that will be coming in the future to be able to wear a device that non-invasively can write information directly to your brain.
To wear a device that can write information directly to your brain. They don't need you to wear anything. It helps, but they don't need it. So I hope you've learned something today. Again, don't be so hard on yourself. Just remember, you are wonderfully made, and you're worth it. Tell people the truth. Help educate others with empathy and actual care for your fellow man. Don't prop up any more grifters that keep screaming platitudes. We need people to know about their health care. Thank you for your time. Mark 536, amen.
what the heck happened there. I don't know what happened. It shrunk to like a dot. That was weird. Anyway, there you have it. I don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you for spending it over here with me. I hope you get educated. You know, like she says, you know, no offense to the people over there that got, you know, bamboozled, but it's the people out there that are grifting on those narratives that are 100% baseless and false. And that's a sad thing. So there you go. I hope you go back and rewatch this video, reintroduce yourself to Sabrina Wallace and actually what's going on. And while the narrative is geared towards, you know, the QAnon psyop, I want you to analyze it like this. If you stayed here with me this long, what you're seeing is a scientific definition of AI, but of the Antichrist, the New World Order. Will be a one world currency, one world government, one world religion. Everything will be, you know, exactly as they say, augmented, human augmentation, already wired in. That's where we're at, folks. So I'm always going to stay on top and on the cutting edge. Thank you for listening. Please share this video with as many people as you can, you know, just to wake them up. Say, hey, man, just listen. That's all you do. You know, if you've been riding that ride, you know, it's probably time to get off. I've told everybody this. You know, get off the bullshit. Who gives a fuck about Jeffrey Epstein and that whole deal, or P. Diddy and what's going to happen to him, or who gets pardoned or whatever, okay? That's all to keep you occupied. All that, the political back and forth, keep you occupied. All you assembly people out there, to keep you occupied. Y'all just don't get it. Had to have a discussion today about all of that. So that's another video. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to go over here and do my legal work. I'll probably do a live video again, just covering what I'm doing. If you want to come over here and hang out for that, you can. It's usually tedious and boring, but you do learn about a lot about legal work. As I go through it, I explain everything, why it is, what it is, blah, 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 blah. So thank you, everyone. Sabrina Wallace, go check her out.
I come through with the style that's always revealing, from the block like the TikTok don't stop. I was that shorty, you know she was non-stop. I had the hot clot, chilling like a real god. Everybody know Big Juan was a show shot. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. It goes on and on, ain't no fucking questions why. The gangster of love, get the real fucking supply. What? She came through, giving me more than I can tell you. Everybody knows the next level, I'm so clever. Take the day off. Take the day off. Yeah. Get high on your own supply. Feel like a dime when you do or die. Just get high on my own supply. Cold do or die when I'm feeling like why. Choose a dime piece. Yes, one of a kind. Holler at me, I was one of a kind. We had a bill, throw the shoes to the side. Come on, throw them shoes to the side. Take the day off with me. Come and take it off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Get on traffic. Traffic with my saying right here. That's what I say. The best St. Jacks, they ain't up to nothing. Everybody loves it with me. Okay, yeah. When mom cut off the welfare, I was there. Holding you down, mama. Holding you down. When it left you alone, I was there. Everybody knows I was there. You wanna call me out now? Still loving you like I'm loving the sound. Yes, I'll still be there. Them found ass niggas ain't here right now. Who loves you now? And who loves you now? And who loves you now? Take the day off with me. Take the day off with me.